Hey guys, welcome back to the Healing Space podcast. I'm Melissa, and today we're going to talk about something that can change how you experience literally every part of your life. Mindfulness. Not in a sit on a mountain and never think kind of a way, but kind of part of in a real life, messy human kind of a way. So mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judging it. So let that kind of sink in. So again, mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judging it. So to break that down a little bit, it's not about stopping the thoughts that we have currently going on in our heads. It's not about noticing the thoughts that we have going on in our head. It's about being more aware of the body, the breath, the emotions in your surroundings. So what's important about that is it's something that we can all use as a tool to help us when our mental health is kind of going haywire. So for an example, when you're driving to work and you're kind of just driving on autopilot, I know many of you probably have had situations like that. I know I personally have, where I'm just driving and then by the time I get to my destination, I'm like, wait, I don't even remember this drive. Like, how did I get here? I don't remember, like, switching lanes. I don't remember the stop signs, the stop lights, that kind of a thing. Obviously, I was aware and fully present while driving because that's not safe. But being in autopilot when you're driving is just something that a lot of us seem to kind of just fall into when you're driving, because your mind's thinking about 100 different things. You're thinking of tasks around the house that need to be done, chores that need to be done, errands that need to be ran, things that you have to get accomplished by the end of the day. So that is a very good example of kind of mindfulness, I guess. One that I'm very very guilty of, and I know my husband and I are both guilty of this. Sorry, babe, throwing you under the bus. Eating while scrolling. With today's technology, you go anywhere, you see everyone on their phone and they're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, looking at the latest TikToks, the latest Twitter feed. I mean, you name it, they're on social media, they're talking to someone, they're just glued to their phone, right? Another one would be when you zone out of conversations. I know I catch myself doing this a lot. And again, that kind of goes with mindfulness, being aware of breathing, conversation, like all the like environment, all the senses. I find myself in a conversation with someone and I am just zoned out. I'm hearing them, I'm taking in everything that they're saying, it's processing, I'm going over how I feel about it, like I'm reviewing the discussion, the topics, the conversation. I'm present, but not mentally present. I'm zoned out. And this could be because of many different things. Your body could just be in overdrive, right? You're just tired, you're experiencing a lot all at once. It could be a bunch of different things. So let's kind of go over why our minds can be so overwhelmed, right? Constant stimulation. If you drive anywhere, you see the lights, right? Especially around Christmas time. I get so overly stimulated when I'm out driving around town at night with all the Christmas lights. Or I know here in Nevada, we have casinos. So when I go into a casino, even if it's just to go to a restaurant, you have to walk through the casino, right? The noises, the lights, the flashing, the smell, the aroma, usually it smells pretty bad. It smells like cigarettes in a casino. My senses are overstimulated. So that can also be in any other situation as well. So let's think of another one. You're in a crowded room. Let's say you're in a conference. A lot of talking, a lot of people moving around, a lot of different things going on around you, right? So you're You're in a situation where your brain is trying to keep up with what's going on in your environment. Overstimulation. Another thing that can create an overwhelmed mind is social media. I know we hate to think about it, but social media is really not good for our minds. A lot going on, a lot of different conversations, a lot of different posts, a lot of different reactions to things now, right? A lot of different reels or videos, just a lot of things going on a social media platform that, like I said before, scrolling through your phone, you're scrolling through all these different things. And a common tactic to get people interested in social media posts is having the fancy videos or the bright posts and all the cool things added to it to gain your attraction and to bring your attention to that post. So again, that's how social media can really become overwhelming for your mind. And it's kind of crazy to think about. Another one, trauma and stress. So if you think about it, trauma and stress, your body's already tense. Your nervous system is already out of whack. You're feeling anxious, depressed, stressed, fight or flight mode. Again, your body is aware of how it's reacting to a situation or an event or an experience that you have experienced. I know, based off of my traumatic experiences, there are certain situations where I can't take part in certain things, certain crowds I can't be around, certain, it could be anything. It could be a smell. If I smell something that reminds me of a stressful or traumatic event, I'm out. I can't do it because my body literally reacts as if I'm in that moment and under stress and in that traumatic event all over again. So again, that means my mind is trying to figure out what's going on in my body. How do I protect it? Overstimulation and overwhelm within the body, which equals an overwhelmed and overstimulated brain. Living in survival mode. I know I've done this. I still feel like part of me is still in survival mode. I've been in survival mode, I would say probably since the age of 7. My parents got divorced. Huge life change, right? Everything's different. Not saying that this is what led me to survival mode, but this is what has led me up to being in survival mode. There have been traumatic events, certain stressors that when your body is working to protect itself from like the fight or flight mode, that is survival mode. Your cortisol levels go up, your brain is working overtime, your body's stressed and under pressure, and it's just a messy overall body experience for anyone that's ever been in survival mode. Survival mode can last years. I'm proof of that. And I'm still waiting for the moment where I can just kind of take a deep breath and just relax. And for my body to know, like, hey, you're safe. You're safe and you're okay. But I think with what I do at work, there are so many triggers for me that my body probably will not be in survival mode for a while until I find obviously a different career path or a different job, yada, yada, yada. But that survival mode it takes a toll on the body and the mind 100,000%. Now, tying all of those things to mindfulness, anxiety and depression, again, I would say majority of our population has either one or both. Either it's diagnosed or it's not clinically diagnosed. It's just how our body kind of reacts to situations, thoughts, feelings, emotions, that kind of thing. Emotional exhaustion. My body does this, or my job does this to me a lot. So I go out and I assess kids for suicidal, homicidal ideation, and we work with the kiddos and their families to get them linked into services in the community. A lot of the time after the assessments are done, myself and the clinician are just emotionally drained. We're drained, we're done, we're zoned out, we're burnt out in that short amount of time, depending on the severity of the kiddo that we're working with, right? Also, feeling disconnected. When you're anxious, depressed, emotionally exhausted, you feel a sense of disconnection, whether that be from like the environment, your loved ones, your friends, your family, yourself. And mindfulness helps bring that back together and helps de-escalate and calm down your nervous system. So mindfulness and how it helps with their mental health. So what's really amazing about mindfulness, and it's such an easy thing to practice. And again, I've been learning about it and I've done so much work on mindfulness that I catch myself doing it now without even thinking about it, which is great. Therapy has helped me a bunch with that, but also throughout my education, with my master's degree, you have to learn it, you have to practice it, and you have to basically preach it, right? So what's amazing about mindfulness is that it reduces your anxiety. It helps with emotional regulation. So it helps your body realize, hey, I'm at a heightened state right now. Let's do these mindfulness techniques or mindfulness activities or methods, interventions, however you want to word it. And let's bring this back to into regulation or homeostasis, right? So homeostasis is basically the balance, the neutral. I know I like to use homeostasis a lot, that wording a lot, because for me, with my science background, it reminds me, okay, we're at a ground common level, right? We're at a balance. It also helps with sleep. So with someone who has dealt with trauma or any stress or any mental illness, sleep is one of the first things that you really struggle with. And I noticed that on my own mental health journey. After my one of the many traumatic events, one of the things that I lost the ability to do was sleep. My sleep was disrupted. I'd have nightmares. I'd have raceful thoughts. I would have a hard time falling asleep and staying asleep. Or sometimes when you're in depression, you sleep too much, right? Because you just want to kind of escape what you're going through. So mindfulness really helps with improving your sleep quality, improving your sleep schedule, and your sleep overall. And what is really great about mindfulness is it helps you respond instead of react. So let's say you're in a situation, you're super overwhelmed, you're overstimulated, you're just feeling all the emotions, right? So you notice within your body, you notice that you're not okay, right? Let's say you're in an argument. You're really angry, you're ready to just explode on this person. What mindfulness helps is it helps you respond before and instead of reacting. So responding is different than reacting, right? So if we're in an argument, we're going back, or this person's unloading all what they want to say, instead of reacting, which would instantly be, I hate you, this is stupid, I don't agree with you, blah, 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 blah. You take a moment, you kind of reflect what was processed. You kind of go over you kind of process what you just received, right? And then you respond. So responding is more constructive than reacting is, which creates such a difference when you're in that moment and in that argument. It also helps build self-compassion. I know I personally have gained compassion. I've always been a compassionate person. I care for others. I care about people. I worry about people. But mindfulness really lets you get to a different level of self-compassion. So that's being like, okay, I see that I'm upset over this. I'm validating it's okay that I'm upset about this. But again, instead of reacting, we're going to respond. So we're processing in our brain while we're experiencing these emotions, right? We're giving ourselves the love and the ability to take everything in, but yet processing it first, thinking about it, which is the same as processing, and then responding to that. So if I'm overwhelmed, I have too much on my plate, I would take it, acknowledge, okay, I can see I'm overwhelmed. I've got a lot I've got to get done. Let's take a breather. Let's take a deep breath. Be aware of, that, like, let's figure out what needs to be done first. Let's make sure that we're able to make it doable. Let's also be able to be productive without being overwhelmed. So for me, my thing is making lists. I love to make lists. Lists help me and my brain process, like, this is what needs to be done. Doesn't need to be in this order. I would prefer it to be in this order, but it doesn't have to be in this order. But it just lets me, like, when I get overwhelmed, I'll make a list of things I need to do. So again, it's being more self-compassionate, being like, okay, I get your mind is flooded with different things. So if I list it out, it's relieving a little bit of that anxiety, that little bit of overwhelm, that little bit of paranoia, right? So it's allowing my brain to kind of relax because I have it on paper now. It's in front of me. It's a solid in-person thing. So I don't need to store it up here and cause my whole body to become dysregulated. I have it right here on my desk, right? Let's see. I do want to practice a mindfulness exercise. We won't do it for too long. I just want to introduce you to what it would look like. So, if you were somewhere safe, or if you are oh my gosh, if you are somewhere safe, gently close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath in and out. Notice the weight of your body. Notice any tension. You don't have to change anything. Just notice. What is being done in that mindfulness exercise is it's allowing you through, like, guided breath. So you're breathing in, breathing out. You're letting your body calm down and relax. When you are so present in your body in those moments during a mindfulness exercise, you're aware of the sounds, you're aware of your body, what it's feeling, what it's experiencing, and also listening to your breath. When you inhale and when you exhale, you're aware of your body, right? So that allows for you to better know, okay, so I notice my neck's really tense right now. Why would that be? And then you can kind of dive into that, if that kind of makes sense. So when it comes to mindfulness, I know a lot of people don't really think of it as something that's realistic, but it really is realistic and it's practical. You don't need to take 30 minutes out of your day. You don't. It could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You could find something on YouTube. You can Google it, ChatGPT it, a quick mindfulness exercise, because you're noticing your body, right? You're noticing these signs that your body is not okay, right? It's either, I don't want to say it's in distress because that's a different issue, but it's not okay at that moment. And mindfulness can be practiced anywhere. It could be when you're showering. It could be when you're brushing your teeth. It could be when you're on a walk with your dog. It could be when you're drinking coffee in the morning. Petting your dog. Petting my dog is one of the best things that brings my nervous system back to homeostasis. Because it's the love I have for this dog. I'm talking about Moose, who's my almost 9-year-old golden doodle who I love beyond words. It's himself. is such a tool for my mental health that I don't think anyone will ever understand what this dog means for me. So even just petting him, giving him loves, showing him like, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. But because of the connection that we have, that emotional bond, he's doing it just like me petting him is doing it to me as well. Like it's providing me that sense of relaxation. It's telling my body you're okay, you're safe, it's Moose, he's your comfort animal, you're okay. Like let's work this out, let's bring it down. And then even when, like, let's say I'm petting Moose, oftentimes taking a deep breath in, holding it for 3 seconds, letting it out for 3 seconds. And if I need to repeat that, I can repeat that as many times until my body realizes like, hey, you're okay. And that's how powerful mindfulness is, and how powerful and useful it is for everyday use. And a lot of people could be using mindfulness techniques and exercises and interventions, whatever you'd like to call it, and just not know what that is or what it was or what it was defined as, right? Just having those micro moments of presence, of just sitting here and just being aware of your environment, the sounds, the noises, the smells. Like I know I love to burn candles. So when I come home after burning a candle all day, of course I put it out before I left the house, but I come home and I can smell the candle. My nervous system relaxes and I'm not as tense as I was walking into the door as I am in that moment. And just being present in your body and knowing what your body's like needing and wanting and desiring and trying, because what your body is doing is it's trying to let you know like, hey, you're not okay right now. Or what you have going on in your brain is a lot. And your neck's carrying it, your shoulders are too tense. That headache you've had, those are all tied into something, and mindfulness is something that lets you be present in that moment and bring yourself back to homeostasis. So I know there are a lot of myths when it comes to mindfulness, and I kind of wanted to normalize what these myths are, because there really are myths. I know when I'm working with people, they'll be like, well, I'm so bad at it. I'm so bad at mindfulness. You kind of can't really be bad at it, right? Because it's what you are doing for yourself and your body to help bring yourself back down and regulate yourself, right? So I'm always like, not really possible. Or a lot of people will be like, my mind just won't stop racing. Okay, and why is that? Like I said, like for me personally, and I've learned this through therapy for myself as well, when my mind is going and going and going, it's because it has nowhere else for this information to go. So me writing it down on a list kind of opens up some space for other stuff to go in there, right? So it's creating, like, your mind is going and going, but it will stop eventually when you're regulated, right? So using that mindfulness exercise to bring yourself back down and calming down and in the moment, present with the environment, the sounds, the noises, the smells, it helps those thoughts kind of slow down and disappear eventually, right? Or a lot of people will be like, I just don't have time. I don't have time to do this, Melissa. When do I have time to practice mindfulness? My schedule's so busy. It could be anytime, anywhere. Anytime, anywhere. Drive to work, on your lunch break, when you're in brushing your teeth, when you're walking the dog, when you're feeding the dog. Just practicing those mindfulness exercises help bring your nervous system and your overall body back to regulation, which is so helpful and so worth spending any extra little time if you need to make extra time. But also remember, you're doing this for yourself. You are a priority, right? You are worthy. You are loved. You are everything. If you don't have yourself, you really don't, like, that's your foundation. So if you can't make the time, try your best to incorporate the time in any way, shape, form, in any capacity, because it will help you. You will notice a difference and you will feel less tense, less anxious, less depressed, less triggered sometimes. I mean, it all depends. Everyone's different, but it will help you. I know for a fact, and I promise it'll help. Practicing mindfulness is something that needs and should be practiced every day, even in 2-minute increments if you had to. On your way home, at the grocery store, waiting in line, could be anywhere. At the gym, in between sets. I mean, it can be anywhere. If you notice that your mind has wandered, you're doing it right. And by that, I mean, when you notice that your mind is no longer focused on what you are stressing about, thinking about, I mean, your body's whole system is just focused on, then you know you're doing it right if your mind has wandered, because you're giving your mind that break and that ability to relax and bring down the dysregulation back to regulation and homeostasis. So before we end, I do want to just make sure and leave you guys with something. You don't have to fix yourself. You don't have to be calm all the time. Mindfulness just invites you to show up for your life one breath at a time. So I challenge you to try one mindful moment today. Try one mindful moment and let me know how it goes for you. Give me your feedback. Let me know. I would love to hear what your experiences are. Please subscribe, share, leave a comment. Anything helps. And then also please share topics that you want for me to discuss and share and help you guys work through and walk through it with you. Because that's honestly what I'm here for, is just help break the stigma down that is mental health and give you guys new tools and things that have either worked for me, worked for my clients, that I've seen work. I'm here for you guys. Thank you.